Welcome to Nekoye, the Project Manager channel. Today we look into PMP exam prep for System of Value Delivery in hybrid methodologies.
So in this case, you have a hybrid financial service project. So we have a hybrid financial service project, and this project utilizes agile practices for customer portal functionality, while the waterfall governs regulatory compliance requirement. So we have customer feedback, which is essential in running a project, and it suggests that usability adjustment during agile testing conflicts with compliance specification. So how should these discrepancies be managed? A, should they update compliance deliverables immediately to reflect customer usability adjustment? So in this question, I take in this multiple choice A, I take caution of immediately. So it's sort of a reactive response to what is happening. So I won't say much. Let's go to the next. So incorporate usability feedback into agile iterations while preserving compliance deliverables for final approval. So just looking at this question, I feel that there is a balance because we are balancing between incorporating usability feedback into agile iterations and still preserving compliance deliverables. Because remember, the problem statement was customer feedback suggests usability adjustment during agile testing. And this conflicts with compliance specification. So option B brings in some aspect of balance, which is important in a project. So option C say initiate compliance adjustment requests through waterfall governance while maintaining agile iteration priorities. This also sounds very good. Initiate compliance adjustment through waterfall governance. Okay, so waterfall, remember, was governing regulatory compliance requirement. So they're saying you initiate compliance adjustment, which is good. Still maintain iteration priorities. Okay, this also sounds very good because what was in conflict here was compliance specifications, but still there's need to maintain agile iteration, which focused on customer portal functionality. Okay, so in a typical project management questions, you will always have two answers, select C and B, that are very close, and you really need to look out. They look like they all sound so good, but you really now need to have a deeper understanding of what entails hybrid projects. Then they say suspend agile iteration until usability concern align fully with compliance specifications. Okay, so if you're suspending agile iteration, that means you have brought in some sort of imbalance. So you will be addressing compliance specification, that is the waterfall, but then you have compromised on the agile iteration. So in this case, we are going to dismiss outrightly D. We are also going to dismiss A. Then you have two options. It's either B and C. This says incorporate usability feedback into agile iteration while preserving compliance deliverables for final approval. So I think there's an issue with preserving. It sort of sounds like D because it's like you're focusing more on one aspect and just maintaining, because remember, compliance was the one was at issue. So I'll say my answer is C. Let's see in the comment section what your answer is. I'm not afraid to fail. You go.
We're diving into the power of hybrid methodologies, especially in highly regulated industries. Hybrid methodologies offer a versatile approach by combining the flexibility of agile frameworks with the structure of traditional governance. There's a growing need to merge agile's adaptability with the rigorous oversight of traditional governance to manage complex projects effectively. Hybrid approaches are highly effective for projects that require stringent compliance, yet still benefit from agile's flexibility and iterative focus. A core benefit of hybrid models is maintaining governance integrity while embracing agile practices. Hybrid methodologies ensure governance integrity by maintaining controls that are critical for compliance and project safety. Organizations can tailor governance to fit specific regulatory or organizational requirements, especially vital in structured industries like healthcare and finance. Governance may be streamlined and adapted to support iterative processes, while crucially safeguarding the project against compliance risks. On the agile side, hybrid models harness methodologies for maximum adaptation and speed. Hybrid models leverage agile methodologies like Scrum and Kanban to facilitate flexibility and speed. These agile components facilitate rapid prototyping, iterative planning, and customer-centric development cycles. This helps prioritize short-term iteration goals within a longer project timeline, ensuring continuous alignment with stakeholder needs. The true strength of the hybrid approach lies in its ability to balance regulatory rigor and market adaptability. A hybrid approach bridges the gap between rigid governance and agile adaptability, offering a more complete solution for complex environments. Teams can achieve iteration goals while adhering to necessary regulations, even in highly structured industries. Hybrid strategies are a practical solution for balancing controlled environments, legal obligations, and the adaptability needed for dynamic market needs. In conclusion, hybrid methodologies provide a robust framework for today's complex, regulated projects. This dual focus allows projects to capitalize on efficiency and innovation, even when facing strict regulatory frameworks. Hybrid methodologies offer the best of both worlds, structure for compliance and agility for innovation. Choose hybrid for your next regulated project.
Yes, so the correct answer is C. Why? Because hybrid methodologies, the goal of hybrid methodologies in this situation was to maintain governance integrity for compliance adjustment, but still allow agile practices to prioritize iteration goals. So if you selected A, that you went for the option of updating deliverables, okay, informally, you brought in the risk of compliance adherence. And if you went for incorporating feedback without approval, that means you're skipping oversight. And then if you went to suspending iteration, that means you reduced efficiency. Okay, so if we go back to our question, and just to have a deeper understanding, the question was asking, in other words, how do you balance strict compliance with the need for agility? So hybrid methodologies actually combine traditional frameworks with the agile frameworks. So the PMI insights show that hybrid methodologies shine in compliance-heavy industries. And this is perfect for projects that need both flexibility and regulatory rigor. So for such examples of that organization are healthcare industries, finance industries, and even government projects. So here, we need governance integrity. So that means you're ensuring that the governance is staying intact. At the same time, you are doing governance so that means governance can be tailored to fit regulatory and organizational needs. And when you streamline governance support with iterative processes without risking compliance, then you are a winner in this case. So when you're looking at the agile side of hybrid, we use maybe Scrum and Kanban for rapid prototyping and iterative planning. So you're keeping teams customer focused and adaptive in the short term. You are looking at iteration goals which align with long-term project timelines. So you're also able to bring in the bridge between the both worlds. So hybrid bridges rigid governance and agile adaptability. So in this case, teams can innovate while staying compliant. It is also about achieving iteration goals and meeting regulation. So a practical benefit will be having a balance in terms of legal obligations, documentations, and adaptability, and at the same time enabling efficiency and innovation even in very strict environments. So you're bringing in a dual focus where you have control and you have flexibility, and what you're able to gain is sustainable success. So in that case, hybrid strategies are the future of compliance-driven industries. Okay, so have you tried, let me just ask you a question, have you tried hybrid methodologies in your projects, and what worked best for you? Put it in the comment sections. At the same time, remember to click subscribe and comment because we put effort into this. So question 2 is not far from the first question that we've done. So your hybrid manufacturing project combines waterfall principles for prototype approvals, while agile methods for production iterations. So you have a hybrid manufacturing project, a hybrid. Now this is a manufacturing company that encompasses hybrid methodologies. What do you say by hybrid methodology? Say they have waterfall principles, and in that case, they just use it for prototyping. Okay, they use it for prototype approval. And then they're using agile for production iteration. Okay, so they have agile for production iteration. So what is the issue here? What is the pain point? The pain point is that there's a customer demand analysis that shows the need for smaller batch production cycles that requiring adjustment during waterfall approval phases. So remember that waterfall were used for prototype approvals and agile was used for production iteration. But there's a demand analysis that is showing that we need smaller batches of production cycles, and this will need readjustment during the waterfall approval phases. So what should the project manager prioritize? So A, align batch production cycle to customer demands immediately. So I just want us to take the note of the word immediately. It's giving haste, it's giving forget everything else and just focus on this. Okay, down there's also a negative connotation here that is saying without modifying waterfall approval. So there is a negative connotation. There is a factor of haste and a negative connotation, like we are going to focus on this without the regard of anything else. So automatically we are going to disqualify A. So A is disqualified. Then they say submit prototype adjustments request for governance review before adjusting production iteration. Okay, this also brings in an aspect of so this, remember this, there should be a balance. So when you're doing this, you have uh, bring this up. So I think this one is okay because they were saying you use waterfall for prototype approvals. So they say submit prototype adjustment requests, okay, for governance review. So there seems to be a structure. There is the aspect of prototype adjustment request. There is the aspect of governance review, and then going on and adjusting production iteration. Okay, then part C says reduce batch production scope to fit current approval output. So in other words, it's like you're surrendering. Say, okay, because we can't go on. So in other words, it sounds more of just giving in for the sake of it. So ideally, in my case, I'll just dismiss this. This one, I'll dismiss it. Then there's the issue of escalate customer demands concern until the approval process is complete. So it brings in the aspect of delay that you just, okay, let's do what the customer wants and wait for the approval process. It looks like it's so complacent, so I'll dismiss this. So for me, I'll say my answer is B. Submit prototype adjustment request, A, for governance review, good, then adjust production and do this before adjusting production iteration. Let's get to see what answers we've been provided. The correct answer was B, because when you're submitting governance reviewed adjustment request, you ensure that there is structured alignment while enabling agile production flexibility. So if you chose C, that means you're proceeding without approval, you're skipping up oversight. And then if you chose that is, if you chose B, you're moving without approval, so you're skipping oversight. If you chose C, you're reducing scope arbitrarily, so you're compromising customers' need. So if you go with D, escalating concerns without action, you're actually delaying alignment unnecessarily. So go to these sources and just have a deeper understanding of what we have done and just get to understand the hybrid structure more. You gain more by studying widely to make your brain more flexible to understanding aspects of project management. So now let's come to an IT environment. And in this question, your hybrid IT infrastructure project uses waterfall processes for legacy system upgrades and agile practices for cloud platform transitions. So legacy system fail testing during the initial water phases. Waterfall phases? So how should the project manager approach this situation? So A, should they shift agile priorities to address legacy system issues while resuming waterfall upgrades later? So for me, this sounds like you are bringing in the aspects of delay because there's need to be a balance, but you're shifting agile priorities. Like you're focusing more. This project, actually, they've told you the context that this project requires a hybrid approach. So if it requires a hybrid approach, then that means that we have to go with the hybrid approach. So shifting, then resuming later, it brings in inefficiency. Then the second question says escalate failures through governance and adjust cloud platform deliverables to compensate for delays. Okay, so here they're saying escalate failures, then then adjust. Okay, I just want us to look at the keywords here. They're saying escalate, then adjust, then compensate for delays. Okay, it looks like a shortcut way of working. So you're just like filling in, compromising, and doing just, I mean, it can bring in issues in the project later because you're highly likely to bring in scope creep because you're not following exactly what you had consummated to do. C, issue a formal change request for adjusting waterfall system while preserving agile schedules for cloud transition. According to me, this sounds like very balanced. First of all, there's the issue of formal change requests, which is very important in a waterfall project. When there is an issue that needs to be readjusted, issue a formal change request. Then adjust the waterfall systems. Of course, if you have issued a change request and it has been approved, then you can go on and adjust the waterfall system. And in this case, when you are at it, preserve agile schedules for cloud transition. So in this case, you have a balance, and this is perfect. I mean, this is so perfect for as an answer. In this case, you can tell me whatever you want, but this is really perfect. Then D, post-cloud transition until legacy upgrades are fully tested. Remember, you have the constraint of time, you have the constraint of cost, you have the constraint of quality, and you have stakeholders who are waiting for the development of the project. So pausing actually brings in the aspect of delay. So we cannot go for this at all. So comment in the comment sections which was your answer.
Welcome.
Let's
We're
watch
exploring
this video
hybrid
to have a
project
deeper
management,
understanding
focusing
of
on how to combine the structure of waterfall with the flexibility of agile, particularly for major transitions like moving to the cloud. Hybrid project management is essential for complex projects that require both strict governance and rapid adaptation. We specifically look at combining waterfall and agile when dealing with system migrations, such as transitioning legacy systems to cloud-based platforms. This hybrid approach is critical for balancing the need for rigorous governance and accountability with the required flexibility for modern development. In traditional waterfall methodology, changes are managed through a formal process, typically involving structured change requests. Formal change requests ensure clear accountability and provide necessary governance, especially when modifying project baselines or scope. Change control boards, or CCBs, are central to the waterfall model, formally assessing and approving any changes to the project plan. This formal process is essential for ensuring that all changes align with organizational strategies, budgetary constraints, and preset project constraints. Agile, in contrast, handles change integration much more dynamically and adaptively throughout the development lifecycle. The adaptive nature of Agile means that project scope and requirements can evolve rapidly based on feedback and new information. Agile utilizes tools like user stories and backlogs, leveraging iterative planning sessions to integrate changes seamlessly. Agile integrates changes without requiring the same level of comprehensive formalities as Waterfall, maintaining project momentum and responsiveness. In a hybrid model, especially during cloud transitions, we see both philosophies at work to manage system complexity. Formal change requests become necessary to manage critical dependencies and mitigate risks involved in migrating legacy systems to the cloud. Despite the formal governance, we ensure that core agile practices, like iterative deliveries and sprint cycles, are preserved to maintain project velocity. The hybrid model successfully offers a robust framework for managing change in complex, transitional environments. This integrated approach balances essential governance for stability with agile flexibility, leading to better scalability and overall efficiency. By mastering this hybrid approach, organizations can successfully navigate complex projects like cloud adoption while maximizing responsiveness to stakeholders.
C was the correct answer because you're preserving you're preserving agility for deliverable flexibility. At the same time, you're using governance to address structured upgrades. So formal change requests will ensure that we have alignment with both parts of the project. Now, when you're going for adjusting agile priorities, you're actually misaligning the scope. When you go to escalating without balance, you're straining on schedules. When you go to pausing progress, you're reducing efficiency. Now, basically, in hybrid models, we are bringing in waterfall and agile in cloud transition in this question. So when you're migrating legacy system to the cloud, this will sound, well, actually migrating legacy system to the cloud sounds very exciting, but you need to have a balance of strict governance with agile speed. So hybrid models will actually combine waterfall structure governance with agile adaptability. So the waterfall side will look at the governance and the formal change request. So waterfall relies on structural processes and change control boards. Formal change requests ensure modifications that align with organizational strategies, budgets, preset constraints. This protects project from scope creep and manage risks. So when you're looking at the agile side, you want flexibility and iterative planning. So agile will thrive on adaptability. That is user stories, backlogs, and sprint cycles. Changes are integrated through iterative planning, not heavy formalities. So agile keeps momentum by responding quickly to stakeholder feedback. The hybrid balance in cloud transition. Hybrid models are essential. So, for example, if your migrating legacy system requires waterfall formal change request mechanisms to manage discrepancies. This brings in a mechanism to manage discrepancies and at the same time, agile practices, that is iterative delivery, sprint cycle, will keep the project responsive and the customer focused. So, in that case, governance is meeting agility, where hybrid models will show you how formal change processes coexist with agile dynamic transitions. So governance ensures compliance and alignment. Agile ensures adaptability and speed. Together, they bring in the factor of balance, of control, and flexibility. Okay, so when you're looking at real life examples, for example, even cloud adoption projects, so the formal approval for infrastructure changes, for example, so we bring agile sprint for feature rollouts. Okay, now we're looking at enterprise IT transition. So the waterfall governance for budget control, agile iteration for user experience improvement, for example. So in the healthcare industry of the finance sector, we bring in the regulatory compliance via the change control board and the agile prototyping for customer facing apps. So governance actually protects production integrity and organization strategy. Scalability, that is structured processes manage large and complex transition. Efficiency in the sense that agile iteration keeps momentum and stakeholder engagement alive. So hybrid is not just about choosing one side, it's about leveraging the strengths of both. So whenever you're picking a question, pick an answer that leverages the strengths of both. So waterfall will provide sort of a guardrail. See, so we have our project over here that is incorporating both agile and waterfall. That is control and flexibility. And then what hybrid does is that it provides sort of a guardrail. So we have a guardrail over here of our project. So good. So this dual approach actually ensures that you have compliance, scalability, and innovation. So just tell me whether you have worked with a cloud migration using hybrid, whether you have worked on a cloud migration project, and did you use hybrid practices, and what challenges did you face? So put it in the comment sections, and also remember to like and subscribe for more and more questions that go deep to help you understand and get deep into the PMP